Hello everybody, it's me Albert here, and today we're going to learn about what Medicare covers. So, I want to remind you that I have my Medicare series. It's called Aprendiendo con Alberto, the Medicare series. Reminder, I'm here to help you simplify Medicare. So, please remember, you can reach out to me. My phone number is on the screen, my website is on the screen, and all my social media, all my apps and everything is on the screen. So please remember to follow and share. So this is the Medicare and You book. I'm going over chapter 2. What does Medicare cover? So I always have to start with the costs. So remember, let's begin. Part A is your inpatient hospital care. This is how it works. When you're admitted to the hospital, this is what you have to pay. So for Part A, when you're admitted to the hospital, there's always a deductible. And that deductible is going to be $1,667. Okay, so this is what that means. You're admitted, they come in and they check and they eventually say, okay, you have to pay your deductible. It's $1,667. That's the cost. Now, how many days does that deductible cover? It's going to cover 60 days. So 60 days, you pay $0 for under your Part A. What happens if you're in the hospital longer? Days 61 through 90, this is where it gets a little crazy. You're going to pay $408. This is the crazy part. Per day. So you meet your deductible. You're in the hospital 60 days, you're good. You paid $1,667. So let's pretend you're in the hospital 10 days. So let's just pretend January 1st to January 10th. You're good. You paid $1,667. You come out January 10th. What happens when you're dismissed, when you're let go from the hospital, and you go back in July? What happens? Well, guess what? How many days did the deductible cover? It only covered 60 days. So after February, the end of February, that 60 day was up. So then in July, if you go back into the hospital, you have to pay again. This is the part that gets confusing for the client. So please, if you have questions, remember, call me, 956-622-8740. I'm here to help you make sense of this. Now, let's pretend you're having a really off year and you're in the hospital still 91 days and you're there to 150 days. It gets even crazier. You're gonna pay, are you ready for this? I'm not. $816 per day. And that's what people don't understand. I paid taxes all my life and now my Medicare is gonna take care of me. I'm sorry, there are rules, there are regulations, there are responsibilities for you, the client. And that's why we're reviewing how your Medicare works. So, days 1 through 60, you don't pay anything, but you met your deductible of $1,600. You're there longer, you pay $408 a day, and if you're there after 90 days, you pay $816 per day. So, this is just a quick review of how this works. In my lifetime, I've had my insurance license for over 20 years. I've only had one person in all my entire career get past 150 days, only once. So your main concern is your deductible and it covers 60 days. That's the main thing I really need you to remember. So good, let's continue. Now, let's go over Part B. Hope you got all your questions answered about A. So before I go to Part B, let me go to, there's a few things that Medicare Part A covers. It covers hospice care. Okay, it covers, so under hospice care, it means you're terminally ill. Now, this is the part that's a little uncomfortable for people. You're agreeing to comfort care instead of care to cure your illness. So, you and your family have accepted and decided, please just make me comfortable. The correct healthcare term is palliative care. That's what they're going to call it, palliative care. It makes you comfortable. When you get to hospice, if you get to hospice, you pay nothing. You're going to pay most zero. And if you're given meds, which usually they do, they're going to give you medications to make you comfortable. It's going to be about a $5 copay for those prescription drugs. So please remember, hospice care is covered at zero cost to you, except for the drugs, and it's to make you comfortable. I've had experience with hospice care. I highly recommend you use their services because they will take care of you at the time of need. All right, there's another thing I must go over under Part A before I go on to Part B. Skilled nursing care is a benefit covered under Medicare. It is round-the-clock nursing care. Let me give you an example. Recently, my father-in-law had some screws put in his legs to help him walk better again, and so they did a major surgery. And so after the surgery was done, he was sent to the skilled nursing area. And in that skilled nursing area, nurses are taking care of him round the clock. They're cleaning all the different points that he had in his leg. I've had clients that have amputations and they're sent to skilled nursing. After heart attacks or strokes, you're trying to get rehab, you're sent to skilled nursing. It is simply round the clock nursing care. So skilled nursing, another expensive item. It's going to cover 20 days at zero cost to you. Good news, no cost the first 20 days. But what happens after that? Medicare is going to cover 100 days of round-the-clock skilled nursing. That's what they're going to cover. And it costs, are you ready for this? $204 per day. That's where it gets crazy. So if you're sent to a skilled nursing area, the first 20 days, zero. After 20 days, you pay $204. Let's continue. So going back to, this is all benefits covered under Part A. Now, and the last one is home health. Home health. Home health. I hope you can read my writing. All right, home health. This is a beautiful benefit. This is when the nurses come to your home to take care of you at home, especially after you need therapy, you need to check your wounds after a major surgery and you're already at home. Home health, this is the beautiful part. To send their nurse to your home, it costs you zero. So if a home health agency tells you, please, we can do rehab at home, or you can go to the skilled nursing. Well, how many days does skilled nursing cover? 20 days at zero, but after day 20, you pay $204 per day. But if they can go to the home health to your home, what would you rather pay? You tell me. Would you rather pay $204 after day 20, or would you rather pay zero as they go to your home? That's something very important to consider. Now let's go on to Part B. Part B costs. Here we go. Part B costs has a premium. The majority of Americans are going to pay $185 per month. They take it out of your Social Security check. That's how they do that. Now, there's a deductible, another deductible. This one is $257 annually. Okay, one time. You're going to pay a Part B for your doctor visits. So in January of every year, that's when, if you go to a specialist, you go to your primary care doctor, internal medicine, cardiologist, wherever you go, that's when they're going to begin to collect this deductible for Part B for your doctors. Okay, doctors. All right. I do want to remind you, when you're hospitalized, all the doctors that see you while you're in the hospital, they're going to charge you this famous 20%. So over here, I have to say it here, it's called coinsurance. And you pay 20% of all doctors, whether you're doing an outpatient surgery, you're doing a specialist visit, whatever kind of doctor visit you're doing, you've got to pay the 20%. Remember, I'm teaching you as if you only had Original Medicare. You have no supplement, no Medicare Advantage plan. All you have is Original Medicare. These are the costs for Original Medicare. I should have started with that, but I'm glad I'm saying it now. So, you pay your premium, $185 a month. You meet your deductible, the $257 annually, one time, and you have to pay that 20%. Now, there's a few things that are the most important things that this is gonna cover. If you're a diabetic supplies, okay? What if you need medical equipment? What kind of medical equipment are you gonna need? Well, let's think about the most common. You need what? You're good. Medical, you need wheelchairs, oxygen, bed. So if you need any kind of things like that, you're gonna be covered under Part B, but guess what? I have to remind you, you have Original Medicare and you have to pay the 20%. Now, outpatient. What is outpatient? How many of you have had an outpatient surgery where you were in and out the same day for a surgery? Many people have. In my case, I didn't take care of my feet, so I had an ingrown toenail and I had to get that removed at a doctor's office. It's a little bit embarrassing. Yes, it is, but I had it removed at a doctor. That was an outpatient surgery. How many of you had LASIK before? That's outpatient. You're in and out the same day. Well, with the Original Medicare, an outpatient surgery will cost you 20%. And I've seen these bills go tens of thousands of dollars, thousands to tens of thousands of dollars that the patient has to pay. So please remember, these services under Original Medicare are some of the most important and they're most expensive. There's one last thing under Part B that I'm going to cover. Part B drugs. Thank you. Part B drugs. Don't get confused. This is different than Part D. Part B drugs. Okay, let me give you some examples of Part D. Part B drugs, as in boy. Drugs that are covered under Part B. How many of you know somebody that's been through cancer? And where do they do those injections? Where do they do all those types of services? In a doctor's office. So Part B drugs are simply infusions or injections given in a doctor's office. That's the easiest explanation I can give you. And some of the best examples I can share are like chemo. If you have chronic pains of rheumatoid arthritis and they're doing injections in your knees or your back for chronic pain, dialysis is considered Part B. There's many examples of Part B drugs. These are not Part D. Part D are you get a prescription, you go to the pharmacy, and they fill it for you and they refill it every month. That's some of the most important items covered under Part B. Now, last but not least, some of the most important things I'm going over for Part B. Preventative exams is something we all do. We want to prevent diseases and health problems before they become severe. So preventative services is something that Part B covers. Let me give you some examples. Well woman exams, prostates, checkups, colonoscopy, bone mass measurements. Those are some of the most common preventative exams that you need to do, and they prevent disease early. So that is the third most important item covered under Part B. So I went over the hospital, I went over the doctor, preventive services. Now I must mention one last thing, this fourth item. What's not covered by A and B? Eyewear, eye exams, long-term care, cosmetic surgeries, massage therapies, hearing aids, dental care. Most of these items are not covered by Medicare. So please remember, under Original Medicare, there are some things that it won't cover, and It's really important to remember these things because most people want hearing, they want dental, they want those kind of things. So, all right, so let's review. Let's review what we've learned today. What Medicare covers, what Medicare costs. Remember, for Part A and Part B, there's deductibles. We went over those deductibles. There's coinsurance that you have to meet. There's time frames. There's rules, 60 days, 61 through 90. And there's co-pays associated with those time frames. And then there's different services covered under Part A, like skilled nursing, home health, that you must remember to use. And then Part B has premiums and the deductibles. It has co-insurance, just like Part A does. And these are some of the most important items that's covered. I covered diabetic supplies, medical equipment, outpatient surgeries, and Part B drugs, not to be confused with Part D drugs. And I went over what Medicare does not cover: the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the dental. So just remember these important items. So I truly appreciate you joining me today on covering Chapter 2 of the Medicare and You book. This is an important chapter because, again, it covers what your benefits are, what the services are offered to you. And so I hope my explanation has made things easier for you. But if you're still confused, and that's okay, you can call me, 956-622-8740. You can also reach me by email on my website, healthcareeducators.com. Look at all my different websites and social media. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me with this Medicare series, Aprendiendo con Alberto. I really appreciate you learning with me and sharing all that you're learning with your family and loved ones. Thank you. We'll see you soon.